Thanks so much for joining our lives again today. My name is Zina El Sharif, and I'm a field education trainer with Wella Professionals. And today we have Samantha from OPI who's going to be showing us some cool stuff with nails. And I actually don't think she's in this live yet, so we'll give her a few minutes to join us. But today she's going to be talking about the new trends for fall and winter, and it's going to be all about the Muse of Milan. Here she is. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Good.
So I didn't really give you much of an intro, so I don't know if you want to introduce yourself.
That's okay. Hi, everyone. I don't mind my gloves. I already got my gloves on. My name is Samantha Silvus. I'm an OPI educator. I've been with OPI for it's going to go on almost 4 years now. So it's kind of cool being involved in all of these online, at-home learning things. It's been really fun. So I know we just played the Mexico City video. That's so cool, eh?
I know, I love the video. And so today, I know we're not talking about Mexico City, but what are we going to see today? Like, what are the trends for fall and winter for OPI?
Yeah, so recently, so August 1st, our fall winter collection, which is called OPI's Muse of Milan, just released, and that's fall winter 2020, and it's just a collection of shades that are more romantic. They're bold, they're a little bit more moody, I suppose. So a lot of it is based mostly on the fabric, the textiles, the fashion that is involved with Milan, because Milan is known as the fashion capital, right? So we're focusing more on how we use those colors in fashion.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
They look so beautiful. So you mentioned that Milan is the fashion capital. So how is OPI incorporating that into this collection?
So what we're looking at, and I'm sure if you're on YouTube or if you're looking at some of our posts on Instagram, you're seeing fashion designers, and you're seeing how they're using color and design as a way to express themselves. And I think we do the same thing with polish. I think we do the same thing with our look, our hair, our makeup, everything. So the way that we use color is to express who we are and how we feel. And, you know, I know when I'm feeling like a little sassy, maybe I'll have like red nails, black nails, you know, and I feel like that's such a fashion-based thing. You pick a color because it makes you feel a certain way. And I think that we use it to emulate how we feel and how we feel in the world around us.
Yeah, that's so true. I love that we can just change our nail color depending on how we're feeling too.
Right?
So fun. Easier to change than our hair, so why not?
Yeah, I agree. Yes, definitely.
So I know that OPI has like different franchises. So what are we looking at with that today?
So today we're going to be looking at gel color. So when we think about our professional lines, we're looking at powder perfection and gel color. And when we're looking at retail, we're talking about maybe infinite shine or our traditional nail lacquer. So gel color is our 2-week manicure. And we usually say that if it's applied properly, you can get up to 3 weeks of wear. And it usually comes in our iconic bottle shape, and it has the white lid. It got a makeover maybe a year or so ago. And when we're looking at our 4 franchises, that means that these collections, the spring summer, which we saw earlier, Mexico City, and our fall winter, which is Muse of Milan, we're usually seeing those colors in all 4 franchises, and they're permanently added to the collection. So you'll see that in nail lacquer, infinite shine, and gel color, you're seeing all 12 colors across those franchises. And then there's 6 special colors picked for powder perfection. But today we're going to talk about gel color.
Oh, cool. So I noticed the bottles looked a little different. Is there something new with it or a little bit different with gel color?
Yeah. So our, like these bottles, these are the color shade bottles. So the idea is that nail lacquer has a black cap colored bottle. And then the infinite shine has a silver cap colored bottle. And then our gel color, like this one, I was holding up white, which didn't really make sense, but this is one of the Muse of Milan colors. And this has a color bottle and a white cap. But I know a lot of people were making kind of remarks about how they were like, oh, there's new base coat and top coat. And there isn't. they just got a little makeover too. So this is the Stay Classic base coat. And this is the exact same formula as our normal base coat. It's just, it got a little makeover. It has a white cap and a colored bottle. And then same with the top coat. It's now called Stay Shiny, and it's white cap and colored bottle. But there is an addition. So the new base coat is called Stay Strong, and it's a thicker viscosity. So it actually helps keep the nails stronger while your client is wearing it. And that's this one right here. It's got a white cap and a silver bottle here. So I know a lot of people are, afraid of something new. They want the old and the tried and true. So everyone out there that's worried, I guess, the Stay Classic and the Stay Shiny are the exact same formula. They just have a new look.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
People are afraid of change sometimes, so that's good to know.
Yeah, sometimes.
So I know today you're going to show us some nail art, and nail art has really blown up on social media. So like, what's trending right now with nail art?
So with nail art, I feel, and this is just my perspective, because I personally don't usually wear nail art. I'm a straight color, very, very simple and plain. But nail art is huge. Like Instagram is flooded. Pinterest is flooded. Everyone is into unique nail art. And again, I feel like nail art is so specific to who you are. It's something that you, again, use to express yourself with. But when when I see on Instagram, like tie-dye and marbling, and everything is very abstract. And I think that's really cool, because what better way to express yourself than through abstract art?
That's awesome. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I would love to get some abstract art.
Yeah.
So what kind of nail art are you going to be showing us today?
Today, I'm going to talk about marbling techniques, because I think that's one of the most popular thing. And then I also want to bring in another one of our most desired things, because I know a lot of people are into crystals right now, crystals and gemstones. And when I think of Italy, I think of architecture, more or less. I know it's a huge part about fashion and food and everything, but to me, I think of the buildings. I think of historic stone buildings. And so I kind of wanted to bring that in to our nail art today. So the first one is a classic marble. It's a little bit more simple. And in the second nail art, what I wanted to talk about was something a little bit more advanced, an advanced technique, maybe for someone who has, mastered the marbling technique and just wants something extra. And we're going to use the Muse of Milan line. So I'll go over what colors we're using in between the thing. And it's kind of like a little step-by-step tutorial.
Awesome. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Yay. Cool. And if you guys have any questions while Samantha's doing her demo, feel free to put them in the chat so I'll be able to watch them for her. We also have question cards at the bottom there. So if you guys want to throw your questions in the question cards, I can kind of field them to Samantha while she's doing her little demo for us.
Awesome. Okay, so like Zena said, if you have any questions, we'll try and answer them to the best of our abilities. But first, I'm going to start with a little bit more of a simple nail art, something that I feel like is really popular, but also really simple. So maybe if you're working on something or someone that doesn't have a lot of time, maybe you're doing an express manicure. So this is this is a traditional marble. And I know a lot of people have different ways to do this, right? Everyone has their own technique. So ultimately, this is more or less a suggestion about what you could do. I don't want anyone to think that this is exactly how you're supposed to do it, but this is an option. And then our second one, what we're going to talk about, like I said, is a little bit more advanced. So this is what I would consider more of a gemstone look. So you're getting the marbling, but there's a little gold flake in there. So that's what we're talking about. And so what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to start as if I've done my prep, I've done my manicure for my client, and now we're going to polish. So usually in most of our all of our services, I'm going to prep the nail with the Bond-Aid, which is a pH balancing product so that the base coat sticks and stays. So I would do that. I apply my base coat, and then I'm here. I've applied one coat so far of OPI's Alpine Snow. And this is one of our iconic colors. This is one of the colors that you need to have in your collection. It's imperative that you have it in your collection. So after I've applied one coat of this, I've cured it already in my LED lamp for 30 seconds, and that's where we're at. So what I want to do is I want to apply my second coat, and I want to make sure that I'm like applying it super light, because when you're applying the polish too thick, sometimes it globs in the cuticle area or in the sidewalls, or unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't cure properly and you'll get bubbling or lifting, etc. So now that I have that, I'm just going to set it here, and I'm going to have my little foil. So this is one of actually our like remover pads, which is kind of unique because I use it as my little palette. So I have my little palette here. I'm going to take my first color is called Have Your Panettone and Eat It Too, which is a nice orange, like a pumpkin orange. And I love the fact that all of the names are just so like witty, I guess would be the word, right? Like, is
So
that
funny.
the best part about the polish?
So funny. I love it.
Hilarious. This is like a bronzy shade. It's called Falling for Milan. And as I'm using these, I'm literally just taking a little blob of each and kind of placing it on so that I can pick this up with my nail art brush. And then finally, I'm using our hero shade, which is complimentary wine, which I'll take a lot of complimentary wine if that's available.
Why not?
Wine not.
No.
Oh, Zena
Good
with the
one.
jokes. And then
Full of the puns.
for this, I'm using the OPI gel color detailing brush, and it's like super thin. It has like 4 bristles. It's my favorite. And so on our uncured alpine snow, I'm going to start with the orange, and I'm going to take my brush and kind of get enough on there so that the bristles are saturated, but it's not dripping off the end. And then on the wet alpine snow, I'm going to take it and just kind of make some squiggly lines. And I feel like they don't have to be perfect. And I think that's a huge part of people in the beauty industry, is that everyone in the beauty industry has this idea of perfection. When hairstylists are doing an updo, it has to be perfect. And it almost like to a fault.
Mm-hmm.
So I put on my orange lines here with the Have Your Panettone and Eat It Too. And I've placed them. And because I haven't cured it, I can play with it. I can draw through it again. I can manipulate the color a little bit, maybe drag it away from itself. Like I said, this is abstract. It's what you feel is going to look good. And then so the next color I'm going to take is the Falling for Milan here. I'm just going to pick up a little bit and kind of go along in the same line, maybe overlap a little bit. And then just adding some dimension, adding some extra color. Again, it literally has to be willy-nilly. Like it doesn't have a specific, placement. And then once I'm happy with the Falling for Milan, I'm doing the same with the complimentary wine, just kind of dragging some more through. And like I said, manipulate it the way that you want to manipulate it. If you don't want these colors, you can do whatever colors you want. And because the best part about the collection that I find, and all of the collections, they're fashioned, the shades are fashioned in a way that whatever shades you pick are going to go together. So they're all complementary to each other. So if I pick 2 shades out of the collection, I know that they're going to go well together. So any of the color combinations that you choose are going to look fantastic. So after I've done and I'm happy with my marbling, I'm going to cure it in my OPI LED lamp for 30 seconds. And yeah, of course, like through the magic of Instagram, she's already done.
Oh, yay. That looks
so this
beautiful.
is my completed. I've applied top coat to this. So it was cured, and I've applied the Stay Shiny top coat and cured it for 30 seconds. And this is my end result. And it's not perfect, and it's not supposed to be perfect. That's the best part.
That's very cool.
Yeah. And I know,
love
like, I really hope that everyone takes it and is trying their own way of doing it. Like there is no right or wrong way. Like I said, you just manipulate the shades and make it, make it what you want it to be or what your client wants it to be. Let's be real, we're doing it on clients.
That's
So
awesome.
next
You're getting lots of hearts,
talk
Samantha.
about the, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I said you're getting lots of hearts, so people like it.
Oh, I love hearts. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Next, I'm going to talk about the more advanced, I would say. And I guess when I'm thinking about the process, it may not be considered advanced, but at the end of the day, it's a little bit more time consuming. And I feel like a lot of people would have the idea at the end product that it is a little bit more advanced. So the products that we're going to use for this one, I'm using 5 shades from the collection. And I'm going to be using the shade, this is like a sheer white shade, and this is called This Color Hits All of the High Notes. Mm-hmm. I'm also going to be using this sparkly purple for audio bad nails, ciao great nails. I'm going to be using this beautiful purple called Galleria Vittorio Violet, and I'm assuming that's based upon the mall in Milan. And then this one is also, it's kind of a gray purple. OPI Nails the Runway. Haha, witty.
Oh.
And then our last one is a deeper purple called Leonardo's Model Color, like Leonardo da Vinci. See, this is the best part is those names.
Mm-hmm. And they're gorgeous colors too.
Oh, honestly. So what I'm going to show you is kind of our swatch here. And so I'm looking at the swatches, and we're actually using this whole line right here, this nice little collection of purples and kind of like a grayish, I suppose. Another thing that I'm going to be adding, and this is kind of a little bit of an extra, this is a little like little zest. I ordered these online, and I know that they have them a lot in beauty supply stores, and this is transfer foil. So a lot of the time there's maybe just gold or whatever. I got this one. It has a collection of whatever. You can get it at the supply. So I actually just cut out a little piece of the gold, and I'm going to use the gold. So those are all the things that I'm going to use for this specific nail art. Again, if you don't have it, you don't want to use it, don't worry about it, because it is what you want it to be. So again, like we did with our original, like our marble, we've done a dry manicure, and our client is happy with the length and everything. And now I'm going to actually get to polish. I'm going to apply Bond-Aid, my Stay Classic base coat, and then I've applied one coat of, one coat of This Color Hits All the High Notes. And it's nice, and it's like a nice sheer, kind of like a, I don't know, it's got really small micro flecks in it. So after I applied one coat of that, I'm going to prep all my bottles here because I'm not going to put the polish on my palette like I did before. I'm actually just going to use the brushes. And that's where I feel like it comes in a little bit more advanced, because you got to act quick sometimes. So I have my one coat of This Color Hits All the High Notes. So then I'm going to apply another little blop of it here at the top. I'm going to make kind of like an ombre effect, I suppose. And then I'm going to use my next shade, which is a little bit more sheer, is the gray purple OPI Nails the Runway. And I'm going to, without curing, I'm going to kind of blend those two shades together with the brush that's already in the bottle. And then I'm moving on to the next shade, which is Audio Bad Nails, Ciao Good Nails. And same thing, without curing, I'm just going to blend those two colors together, and I'm creating kind of like a gradient ombre situation. And then I'm taking the next color that I have in my little collection here is Galleria Vittorio Violet, and I'm actually just like using the side of the brush to kind of drag through those colors, adding a little bit of a dimension. Like I said, a little bit marble. Like I said, abstract. It's whatever you want it to be. And then finally, the dark shade, which is Leonardo's Model Color. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add that right to the end here. Just like that. Now, once I've completed this step, I want to cure it for 30 seconds. So we're going to cure it for 30 seconds in the LED lamp. And then this is when I want to talk about the transfer foil. When I use transfer foil, I use our base coat. This is how I use it. I use the Stay Classic base coat, and I'm going to use it kind of as my glue. So instead of curing it for its full 30 seconds, I'm going to cure it for 15. We call that flash curing. So the idea behind flash curing is that you're going to cure it, but not all the way. And that's going to give our transfer foil right here a nice sticky base. So we've got our little, prepped marble here. And I'm going to take my Stay Classic base coat after I've shaken it for 1 minute. And I'm going to kind of, just, again, abstract, just kind of place the base coat kind of wherever, not really thinking of where it needs to be because I, again, want it to be abstract. And when I flash cure for 15 seconds because it's half the time. I want it to be kind of cured, but not all the way, right? And then once that's cured, once that's half cured, then I'm going to use the transfer foil. And you'll see how it's so easy and it's such a beautiful addition to the nail art. So I'm going to take it with my thing. I like to use a glove or I like to use tweezers if I'm not wearing my gloves because I don't want any oils on the transfer side. I want it to be free of oils. So then I'm just going to take it and press it and pull away, and it sticks where that half cured base coat is.
That's so cool.
Isn't that neat?
Yeah.
What a simple little addition, right?
Makes such a difference though.
Yeah, and it's special. Like it adds like a little bit of a jazz. So then that's what we're going to end up with is right here is like I have it all on the side there. And this is where I feel like can be totally up to you. Like if you were my client, Zena, I'd be like, do you want more color? Do you want less color? Like, how are you feeling about this? Because everyone's individual, right?
That's
so
beautiful.
What I would do if it was my nails, I would like to layer more on top of this. Like I personally would want more color. So in this situation, I'm like, you know what, for me, I like dark nails. If I was to wear this, I would want it to be a little bit darker. So I know that I've done my my foil already. However, because these shades specifically are so sheer, you can layer it on top of the foil and you can still see the shine from the foil underneath. So what I would like to do is I'm going to take another little bit of Leonardo's model color because I think I need a little bit more dark in my life here. And I'm just going to take it. And in the similar fashion that we did the marbling earlier with the paintbrush, the detailing brush, I'm actually going to do that with just this brush and kind of do wiggly lines through where maybe it looks like I might need some more dimension, maybe a little bit darker down here, anywhere where I feel like I want to add a little bit more. And that's just my opinion. That's how I would personally do it. And the best part is with gel colors that you can layer and layer and layer. And especially with sheer shades, the more you layer, the deeper the shade becomes. So once I'm happy with the way that my shade is looking, or like my nail art is looking, sorry, and I'm happy with this, I'm going to cure it for 30 seconds. And this is what I end up with. Ta-da! Instagram magic. So this is where I'm at, and I really enjoy the way that this looks. And what we're going to do is we're going to add our Stay Shiny top coat, and then we're going to cure it for 30 seconds. And like I said, da, 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 like
Wow.
high shine. Hello.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah. So
just every time
nail art.
Every time I think it's done, and then you come out with an even nicer version of it.
Well, it's one of those things, like I said, you can just keep adding or you can leave it super simple. That's the joy about doing abstract nail art, is that you can do as little or as much as you want. And everybody's so individual, right? So maybe someone would want to stop right after your first coat of colors and your first coat of foil. And then you might just want to continue adding and adding as you go along. And then 3 coats later, you're happy. It keeps getting more and more layered and shiny as you keep going on with the foil.
That's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah. Does anyone have any questions about these 2 techniques?
I have not seen any so far.
That's okay. Awesome. Now, I just wanted to cover a little bit, just have a little extra, I guess. When it comes to the collections specifically, when we are looking at the Muse of Milan collection specifically, I just wanted to make mention that the shades themselves are available through Modern right now. You can order them. There is or may be some issues with our gray shade Susie Talks With Your Hands because it is out of stock. So we're going to go forward. Hopefully everyone can get their hands on it. I know I may have scoured for it and I finally got my hands on it, but that's something that need to hope everybody can get it. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm sure it'll come up soon.
Yes.
Sure all the good colors are always out of stock, aren't they?
I know, that's the best.
Okay, so we do have a question here for you, Samantha.
Okay.
Would it be difficult to do it on yourself?
That's a good question. I feel like with abstract art, anything is as difficult as you make it. If you would like to do that on yourself, it could be messy, it could be neat, and because it's abstract, it's going to look good. You know, when you're painting and you're just like, you know what, I'm just going to splash this color here. It may not look good, but when you're all done, it's abstract art. It's whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, good point. I mean, my nail skills are like nowhere near yours. So I really think if I tried to do this myself, it would be like a disaster.
Yeah.
But I'm sure
I think that's the benefit of using this when you're using just the brush from the bottle itself, is that you're not having extra tools and having to worry about the dexterity using like a small detailer brush or anything. You're just using the polish brush itself. So sometimes I feel like that would make it easier too, because you're not worried about, you know, the smallest little lines. This is more or less like you can plop it on there and manipulate it, and it still looks good in the end.
Okay. And so we have another question here for you, Samantha.
Mm-hmm.
Could you do the first technique on a black base instead of a white base?
Oh, you know what? The one thing that you would have to do, it's totally possible. Like I said, color is up to you. The one thing about this specifically is that your base, I have a white base here. So I could potentially use darker colors like the complementary wine. Sometimes because of, you know, the spectrum there is that complementary wine probably wouldn't show up on a, like on a black onyx base. But if you were to use like our base color that we use here, which is the, this color hits all of the high notes, which is that sheer sparkly white, that would show up over black. So I feel like you would just have to change maybe the shade of the lines that you're using, like the polishes that you're using for the marbling. That would be my only suggestion, but you could use any base that you want. You could use lime green and it would make it look good as long as your colors are complementary.
That would be cool.
Yeah. I know I see a lot of the tie-dye and I think it's so unique because it's using colors that maybe people were scared of before. Maybe people didn't want to have yellow or green, lime green nails, but now that I'm looking and I'm seeing skittle nails or tie-dye nails, I feel like a lot of people are taking some risks when it comes to color, and doing something like this specifically would really allow maybe like a little taste of something. Instead of orange, you did lime green, or instead of complementary wine, you did yellow, and you're giving them an opportunity to see other colors on their skin.
It's a good little first step to something.
Yes, a little taste.
Okay, let me see here. I don't see any more questions, but those were really great questions.
I feel like a lot of people are in the limbo part, especially as we go through and we're coming out of lockdown or maybe still in lockdown. And I feel like a lot of people are in such a limbo time right now. And this is, especially when we're coming out, it's August still. I'm hoping I am still into summertime. And we're like, hey, here's all these fall colors. I feel like it's such a limbo time. It's hard for people to be like, yeah, let's talk about fall when it's August.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to even think about fall right now.
Yeah, no, not at all.
I'm not ready for it.
Not ready for it at all. Me neither.
But these are really great like colors for summer too.
Yeah, and I feel like especially when you're looking at them from a creative perspective. So, when you're looking at the orange and the purples, like the purples can still be great summer colors.
Oh,
And it's
yeah.
all in how you integrate it, right? You integrate it into your nail art, or you integrate it with your outfits and your fashion and your hair and everything like that.
Okay. You're getting some waves.
Oh, hi.
Bye. Okay. Do we have any more
Awesome.
questions for Samantha, you guys, before I don't see any more.
That's okay. As we go forward, if anyone has any questions for me about the brand or about the collection or anything, even just technique things, manicure, pedicure, etc. If you're asking questions about products, you can shoot me a DM here on Instagram at Samantha Nailed It, or you can pop in and you can ask someone at OPI_professionals. And don't ever hesitate to go into Modern and ask questions. It's better to ask questions and get answers than to keep wondering and then, not use the product.
For sure. Yeah. So I just put up your Instagram there, Samantha. So if anyone has any
Awesome.
questions and they want to shoot you a DM, it's at Samantha Nailed It, which is a great Instagram handle, by the way.
Thanks.
And then there's also OPI and OPI_professionals that Samantha just mentioned. If you guys want to give them a follow, and make sure you're following Modern Beauty Supply also. Samantha, do you have anything else you want to say?
I just want to thank everyone for joining us today. However cliche it is, I really appreciate everyone showing support for us Canadians out here. And I feel like we're the Great White North, and we need to show our love for OPI, show our love for modern beauty. Cody, Wella, everybody. And I really appreciate you, Zena, for joining me today.
Thank you. No, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. And thank you guys for watching, and Modern Beauty Supplies for hosting us all the time. We love coming on these lives. And then next Wednesday, Michelle and Chelsea will be back to do a color technique. So you guys won't want to miss that. And Samantha, I think you're going to be doing a live sometime soon again, aren't you?
Yeah, I'll be back with Modern Beauty on September 30th. And I hope that everyone's excited, because maybe we'll talk about new stuff. Maybe.
Hopefully. Awesome. All right. Thank you guys so much. We will see you next week at 1 p.m. on Modern Beauty Supply. And thank you, Samantha. It was awesome to see you live.
Yes. Thanks, everyone.
Bye. Have a good rest of your day.
Bye.